Hey guys, this is going to be a kind of a longish analysis of it. It's going to be both the first two games of the Season 3 of the YouTube League I've just joined. Unfortunately, both of the matches I was not able to record properly due to the fact that my internet screwed up and the ISP had a problem. It's been fixed, so from here on out we should be able to stream again. But this is just a quick recording I want to do. I didn't want to do it live. I just want to do this quickly and throw it up there so people could, for other people in the YouTube League as well as you guys at home watching just from my channel, could have a sense of what the games were like, as well as my thoughts on them, what I did right, what I did wrong, what I need to improve. There's always something you can try and improve. So that's whenever I play, always trying to figure out what did I do wrong, what could I improve. Sometimes you do everything right, that's rare, but if you do almost everything right and you still lose, you're like, well, that's fine. Just Nuffle said no, or it was an impossible thing to do. But generally, there's something you can probably improve, and I try to do that. So this is the how the situation is at the end of the second game match day. There's one more set of games to be played by Midgard and Strackland. So this is going to be the Chaos Dwarf vs Norse. That's going to be just a drag-out, beat-down fight. I'm not sure who's going to win. Honestly, I feel like the Norse should, because they're at slightly more block, and they do have some strong guys to take on the Centaurs, but I can't say for sure. I would put my money on Norse, assuming equal quality coaches. I have heard, no offense, Johnny, I've heard through chat that Johnny was not the best coach, so maybe that makes things a little bit more even. We'll see how it goes. That'd be my expectation, that they'd probably pull ahead with at least a +1 over the other one, whatever if it's a 0-1 or a 1-2 or something like that. I expect them to probably win, but who knows. We're currently sitting here at 1-1. Unfortunately, the second match was a draw. We'll go through all that in a second, but if I'd done things a little bit better, and that's what we'll talk about, I probably could have got a second win, but it's fine. It's no big deal. Hopefully in our next match we'll beat the Cheerful Chastiers, and that'll push it up to 2-1-0. I suspect the Orcs, who are they facing next, I wonder? Better than human. I suspect the Orcs are probably going to be 3-0. So it's probably going to be Goth and me probably up here, assuming I don't get destroyed by the Chaos, and then everyone else kind of filtering up and down. We'll see how that ends up. But yeah, so we're going to look at my team. How it started out. We started out with just the classic elf team. We had 4 blitzers, runner, and then the 6 linemen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. 2 rerolls, no apothecary, no fan factor, straight 1000. Played the first match. We got a bunch of SPP, but didn't level anyone up. And then we got the apothecary through having just enough cash for that. And then the second game, we made enough cash that we're now sitting on 60. We need another 50 to get our Witch Elf. Unfortunately, in the first game, we did lose a guy to a niggling injury, so I retired him. We'll replace him with a Witch Elf. Until then, we'll just take a loner. I hope he doesn't steal the MVP. I might buy him if I get a lot of cash and he got the MVP. It's hard to say, but it's so easy to level them up. If they get the MVP, you just give them one pass, and then they turn into a mini blitzer. So it's really hard to not take one and just throw away 5 SPP when it's pretty easy to level them up. So that's kind of the state of things. We've gotten 2 fan factor from 1 win, 1 draw. And yeah, we'll just cut back into some analysis, and yeah, we'll check it out.
Welcome back to Cabal Vision HD.
All right, we're going to look at the actual game now. Fairly good draw. Ogres.
Ogres are strong.
Alright, so I'm on defense. I set up a classic defense. I offer 3 sacrificial linemen, keep my runner safe, put skills we can see, keep my blitzes, safe when I can, but otherwise have them in position to strike. The kind of game plan is basically kill Noblars, keep the ogres if I can based just by one guy. You don't want to have them next to each other because they can free each other up. You want to have one guy here, one guy here, one guy here, one guy here, all based by a lineman. So the rest of my team can just run willy-nilly silly through the rest of the ranks. And that's why I was 2 steps back, so you don't get jumped. This is going to be a match analysis, so we're going to just go through, have a look at what I did right, what I did wrong, what my opponent did right, what did wrong based on my opinion. You know, he could be doing something for a reason I didn't realize. But yeah, basically we have to take some hits because he got the offense, but we want to be, if we can, pushing guys through here and hunting down Noblars ASAP while keeping these guys busy if we can. Obviously this is a good draw for us insofar as this is of Noblars that have low armor and are stunty. So they are more likely to get hurt. So they're great for farming SPP. That's a nice gift right there. Let's start manning people up. Getting guys through their lines. I probably should have moved one guy up here. But this did what I need. I wasn't willing to move on because I had this guy to do it. Oh wait, no I did. That's a fuck up. Alright. So I should have followed up there and just dodged through. I had, in my mind, I thought, oh, Blitz didn't make that far, then the other Blitz will also make it that far because he was actually back. So I should have, if I was going to run someone through afterwards, I should have blitzed with the guy at the back and then had this guy who's for the forward run up through. So that's my mistake. This could have been a really easy opportunity for a quick score, and because I didn't think it through, I missed the opportunity to stand next to the ball. If I had gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I could have ended up standing next to the ball, and then we just have to put bodies on his ogres so that he doesn't have, he has to start dodging Noblars and trying to stack like 3 or 4 of them in one spot to try and push me off the ball, or just try and pick the ball and risk losing it. So yeah, that's could have already been getting a early score. Like yeah, he's failed to pick it up, so we could have gotten a really early score here. No problems. So I do this to man up this guy. Just moving the people I need to move. And then I'm going to dodge out and punch this guy most likely, I suspect.
That player shuffling off the field, possibly off his mortal coil.
And I don't jump these guys up, and this is something that I did wrong. These guys, I should have had at least one person stand up here to base them, because I was going to have one of them base them eventually, or maybe even like this guy here. What I wanted to do is do what I was doing up here, and then dodge these guys out and man them up kind of individually. But before I did all these rolls, I want to do this first, because if these screw up and I have to use a reroll, then I won't have it for here. But as we see, Nuffle doesn't really give a shit about my rerolls. And this is something I think happens 2 out of my 3 rerolls I use this game. Nuffle, I think they're on 1 dice as well. We just get the 1 in 36, which is a bit unfortunate. But you do what you can. If I wanted to go here, it would have done a double 1 as well, and I've fallen over. So it's kind of the safest thing I could do is come stand here first, so that would force him to try and bring someone back. But yeah, basically anything I did that turn that wasn't a 2-die was going to instant fail. And we weren't going to do any 2-dies because we wanted to play onto the ball. So here's another opportunity for us. I don't know if I stand these guys at this time. Standing them up, manning them up. These guys should probably come and stand here or here. No, he's blocking the run through. So we go in and bash. Just gonna move to try and bounce the ball, because we want this to bounce out here. We've got, so if you look at it, the ball's mid-air. That's excellent, actually. If the ball bounces, it's got kind of 6 spots out of 8 that are really good for us. It's like I got a chance to catch it, or it goes somewhere where it's easy for me to dodge out and grab. And only 3 chances that it's somewhere bad. Unfortunately, it goes to the bad spot. And I'm not really keen on doing the extra GFIs and whatnot. Try and pick it up. I'd rather just stand on it and do some bash. I could have taken some pushes here, and in retrospect, I think I probably should have, because it would have been worthwhile just to stay with this guy and man up these ogres, because this is probably my biggest mistake, I think, in the game, was letting these ogres move freely. If I had stood all these guys up and manned them all up, he wouldn't have been able to come back and clear this guy as easily. So yeah, I think these guys here staying down, while I wanted to do them last because they're the least important in terms of I want to play on the ball and get good bash and whatnot, I feel like they should have been standing up and trying to sit down on these guys, especially once I got to this block here. I should have... Oof, that's brutal. And I think the same thing happened to him. 2 of his rerolls were actually 2 dies. They needed 3+, they weren't 2+, but still there were 3+. And he rolled 2s into 1s. So you got quite unlucky as well. At this point, I shouldn't have done that. I should have moved someone to stand on him first. I did that because I wanted to get that guy up here, but I should have done this one first before I did that, so that guy was based. This gets me a 1 die on that ogre. So we're just looking for the bash. There's opportunity there for taking both down, but this is my armor 7 positional. I'm not willing to risk him just to take out Noblar. It would be lovely, but especially when I still have this kind of ball play here that I want to hold a reroll for potentially. I want to have a go at. I want to potentially knock this guy down rather than just ending my turn. But we do have another problem with this guy's now, because this guy got stunned, this guy is free. And this is the problem. You've got to keep the ogres locked up, otherwise they're going to make life miserable for you. Because now he can push... I actually don't know why he didn't push this guy off here. Because he could have made the ball completely safe. And then... yeah, because then that guy could have been... yeah, I don't know. Because these Noblars don't care about tackle zones so much. They can just dodge through here relatively safely with like 2+. I would have probably preferred to have moved this guy out and not have to do an extra bash if I didn't have to. Especially against a piece with block. But good, yeah, because I've failed to properly man up these guys, I'll let them run back and then come back and hit me again. The ball is now in a big scrum, which is not really where I want it. I want to have a relatively safe... now this is the point where I'm like, alright, I need to try and kill Noblars while I get the chance. Anytime Noblars are manned up, we want to try and bash them if we can. But I still do want to get this ball. And so, from my initial mistake of not running a guy through and manning up the ogres properly, we turn what could have been like a turn 2, turn 3 steal and score into this slog. Which is not ideal. And against a team like this, Ogres, very early on, you would try and get as much SPP as you can out of them early in the league. You don't want to throw away this opportunity to get a good chance for scores and bash. So yeah, definitely a mistake on my part that I wasn't more secure on these guys, but at the same time, some of the double ones that we got from rerolls meant that things that were supposed to work didn't work either. But it goes kind of both ways. He get the 2s into 2 1s. So, but yeah, this is what you want to have. You want to have them basically stuck bashing you, and that's it. And you just get back up and walk onto them. It's painful because you'll get mighty blowed, and they'll break armor every now and then, and you are risking getting injured. But you keep them busy, and you can work on their entire rest of their team. That's hilarious. You can, once all the Noblars are worked down, then it's just you versus 4 ogres. Suddenly you can run, you know, 1 guy per ogre and then gang up on another one and beat him down, or gang up on 2 ogres while the other 2 are kept busy, and then just keep running balls through while you're just beating on them. So yeah, you definitely want to focus the Noblars down and don't give away good opportunities. I presume it's going to go in here. So this is another thing where I think I screwed up potentially. I can't remember. Yeah, I didn't put an extra guy in here to get 2 die. I got lucky on that 1 die. And I should have done this 3 die first. He comes back. Actually, my opponent asked me, what the hell are you doing that for? And I was explaining that if he throws him and the landing fails, I can recover the ball quickly, and I've got enough time to move it up. If I have to run back and pick it up, then I have to wait another turn to move up, and then it's going to make it hard to score. So here we see something quite funny. Unfortunately, I was trying to fix the stream at this point, so I didn't actually see this play. Like, I saw the end of the play, which is hilarious and great. And he makes it. And he doesn't have to do a GFI. It was a good scatter. He didn't scatter short. Now, if we just go back and have a look at placement, see how far he was up. Gets his knockouts back. Alright. So yeah, this guy was basically at the side, at the throwing line, so it's still a potentially hard throw in terms of if you scatter short, you might have to do some GFIs, but it's still a decent spot. Alright, so he sets up, I've got 2 turns to score. He sets up wide here, and I've got a pretty simple plan that I want to try and put in place to get through this, because I can't get through these 2 guys. But I can knock this guy down with a free block and then charge through here. However, there's a mistake that right after I realized and actually correct it the next time I have to do this maneuver that caused problems. So putting these guys far forward so they can give them more chances to move forward. Kicks it relatively deep, I think. Yeah, it's super deep. So that lets me not even have to worry about the runner. I just put it straight to this guy, because he's the guy who's going to score. Good old Arsene Schwarzenegger. Now this guy goes here, when he should have gone here, if I recall.
I admire that ball, and it paid off. Good old nothing.
Because I could have punched him here, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so it's 1 less movement I have, if this works out. And that causes a problem later.
No. Strike first, run later. That's all.
We go and stand there, and we're like, alright, that's as far as we can get. And then I man up the Noblar instead of standing here. And that causes us a problem. Actually, standing here probably was the best. It doesn't really matter, I guess. There works as well. But yeah, I should have been standing there instead of there. It wouldn't have been a problem if this guy had been able to move 1 step further. Because if you can move 1 step further, this guy can protect him, and no one can actually. Because at this point, and we'll see, he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because while I want to man these guys up to force the rolls to try and make him fail, and this is a pretty ridiculous approach, because he bonehead successes into a 4+ dodge, which is not at all reliable without a reroll, and then manages to knock down and stun my dude. So pretty unfortunate. I do have a guy here who can receive the ball and charge in, and we do have a reroll. So this is not a terrible position. This shouldn't be too difficult. It's going to be like, you know, run in, knock him down. It'll be a 3 die, and then just send someone else to pick up the ball, and that's it. So here we go. And then we roll a 1, we re-roll, and we roll a 1. So both re-rolls this first half were just 1 in 36s, and on, you know, a bit annoying situations. So that's how we end up. We probably should have, if we're honest, probably have scored in that first couple of turns if I had been a bit smarter. If I had manned up those ogres and pressured that Noblar like I should have. And then if we ended up in that kind of two-turn situation there. I don't think that would have happened, but, you know, I could have done it better and scored quickly. In this case, yeah, I get lucky here. I should have put that guy, yeah, so I put that guy there, and, what was I thinking? Oh yeah, so there's two ways about it. If you put this guy here, then you punch here, because you're more likely to get some kind of push remove than a both down. As it worked out, I did the wrong thing. It wasn't the matter of this guy's positioning being here, it was the matter of this guy, when I pushed him, I blocked away. Because if this guy's here, you can always push here.
Occasionally, the struggle between brain versus brawn. Brain wins.
Because if you keep this guy here, this guy can go up through here. If it's just a both down, and if it's a push, you can push him up here, and he can still go through up here. So yeah, this guy should be there, and this guy just needs to make sure to push him in the way of this guy's path. But yeah, in this case, you can see my guy gets deep. No one can actually blitz through here and tap him without having to do crazy dodges. This is the proper way to do it, and I correct it. Although it's not the proper way to do it. I got lucky, because I misread what I needed to change. But we did manage to do it properly in terms of protecting him. So, certainly things to be learned from this match. Ogres are a weird team to play against. And honestly, I didn't think an Ogre was going to full plus dodge away and blitz my dude. I thought that was a not likely thing to happen when he had 0 rerolls. But once we realize it's a possibility, we should really take care of it. So now we have a very clear path through where it's only a single guy defending. We don't want to try and go through this. There's a lot of guys here. It's a lot of Noblas to try and get through. Much easier to do this. And I want to keep this guy free to hand off. So this guy's doing the punch, and he has to do a single go for it. And the reason I get it this way is because if I came this way, then I might push him and in block my own path. But if I can come in from the other side, then I can knock him down, and it's just a single GFI. Come over here, we do a handoff, or no, it's a throw rather, because we already did the handoff. Which gets Sylvester Steel Loan, and SPP, and then we just run through. So that's the proper 2-turn touchdown we should have been doing that last one. So we should have probably been at least 2-1 here, through either doing the last 2-turn touchdown properly, or through trying to steal the ball off him early when we get that opportunity. So we probably shorted ourselves a 3 SPP on a dude. But hey, you know, we gotta learn from our mistake and hopefully do better next time. Alright. I stick my standard setup. We start pushing my guys around. So what do I do in this case? I'm probably just trying to take Noblars out. And pressure the Noblars, I presume. The problem is if the Ogres are all next to each other like this, manning them up is not great, because they can usually free at least one of their buddies, and then he's going to go off and hit the person he needs to hit to clear the way. But if we can pressure him, then he can't move very easily. Yeah, so I'm trying to man up these guys to keep them from being able to move. And before I did this punch, I probably should have sent an extra guy here, probably in this corner, because there's a very easy dodge through here. Not that it's very hard for him to dodge through anyway.
2 big goons that get together and fall on you. It can really hurt.
So I was curious if he was going to try and punch down this way, because it would have been 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it would have been a 1 die. Okay. Probably could have moved one Noblar in here and gotten a 2 die to move this guy out of the way, and then this guy here could have picked up the Noblar and thrown him without having to use this reroll, I don't think. Dolph laundering. Yeah, so he could have done a throw with a reroll and then try to run this guy deep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, basically anywhere he goes, I'm going to be able to get to. So you probably want to score immediately, but it's a possibility to... ouch, that sucks. But the problem is, yeah, his Noblar is now firmly ensconced in these ogres. Getting to him is going to be difficult. But there are possibilities open to us.
Good call. Intimidation is the key. It was one of my strengths when I was still playing.
This is important because he blocks his own guy's potential exit path. And when he does this, I know what I need to be doing. Now I'm doing some calculations, figuring out what I'm going to do. Trying to count things out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Stupid to trip.
So here, we do our third 1-die reroll, and it actually works. So 1 out of 3 ain't bad, I guess. And because he's blocked this area out here, the ball can only go down here. Or, I mean, it can bounce on somebody else, but there's no free position that it can go to. That he can sidestep to. So that means the ball moves closer to my runner, who can then secure the ball. And then I decide, what am I going to do? I'm going to kind of stand here next to his Noblar, and then I'll dodge this guy away. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do about the fact that this guy needed to move into here to prevent this sidestepper going out here. So that means he can then chain push, but by doing it this way, dodging away, we force him to make an extra block to try and get on my guy. And then he does, again, 2 2s into 2 1s. Really unfortunate. It sucks, honestly. So we both had pretty crappy rerolls. But this is now what we need. We've got the ball possession. As long as we accelerate away, they're not a very quick team. We can just beat him up. And so I've done the same thing here. I've blocked off so wherever he goes, he can't stand... Oh, that's right. Yes, this is very clever. I like this. He chose not to sidestep. It's one of the things I need to do on my games. I need to turn off sidestep automatically working, because I was like, alright, I've cut off all the places he can go. He's going to have to sidestep somewhere else. And he's like, I'm not going to use sidestep. It's an optional skill. Which is clever, and I really appreciate it, because it's something I don't usually think about, because sidestep, I almost always use it. So yes, it's something I need to change in my game to make sure it's optional, because sometimes you might not want it. And actually, in the recent game against the I think it's like great game, kind of really good attitude coach that I played against recently, I put it up on YouTube recently. I think it's the one before this. That's when I use Fend optionally to frenzy trap a werewolf, and so I should, be more aware of that possibility. All right, we're at the point where we've basically cleared the ball. We're looking good for a 2-1 at this point. We have suffered a single lineman going down during this. Unfortunately, it's a niggling, which means, in my opinion, he is removed. Ooh, yeah. This is very bold. It's a very bold play. It's a very risky play. Luckily, there was a push there. The second one would actually have been pretty bad. If there's any other kind of knockdown result in that third one, I would have had to take both down. Wouldn't have been end of the world as long as my armor didn't break, so I could get back up and potentially walk it in, or have this guy run up there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah. But as it happens, the push is good enough to keep me up. There we go. Run it in. Same thing as before. But in this case, we're pushing him away rather than into my guys, so sidestep optionality doesn't really matter. And then I can just walk it in. And to this point, I'm thinking, alright, we've got 2 turns left. I've been told that just before the match, because the guy I was playing against was in the kind of pre-season analysis of who should win, what they're expecting, kind of ESPN Sports Center stuff. They said apparently it should be a 3-1 in my favor, so I was like, well, the pressure's on now, I need to perform. So we set up, we're down a couple players, it's not terrible. You kick it deep, or mid-deep. He again gets another quick snap. Bonehead's out. No more rerolls for him. I've got 2 rerolls at this point. Ouch. Yeah. So this one is a fine one. It's just not a not long-term hurt. So badly hurt. So I thought what was going to happen here was, and I suspected was going to do, was he's going to pick it up, hand off here, and throw it for a draw. As it happens, he fails to pick it up, which is great for us. And this gives us an opportunity to have a go at the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There. Yeah, 7. Yeah. So I'm trying to do all the safe moves first. No rolling. Classic manning up with the ogres. You stand there, and then that's the point where like I've probably forgotten to move this guy up. It may be worthwhile keeping back as a safety, but yeah, this is the reason why here.
That's how every match should end.
So we're looking at 4 Noblars removed, and we're looking probably 3 scores.
Still standing at the start of the next turn. If they are,
So he
then we
punches
may
a couple
see
down,
touchdown.
but really getting through these guys is going to be next to impossible because it just doesn't have the ability to get these ogres free without having to do full plus dodges. And unfortunately boneheads as well.
The bigger they are,
So
the thicker they tend to be.
considering that, I think we see a foul on the runner just to see if he can do some damage. And he gets sent off, which that means I got my last turn to just walk this in. And so we get 3-1. It probably should have been 4-1 if I'd been a little bit smarter.
Fans are furious.
But hey, 3-1 ain't bad. Can't complain.
This looks like the end. They can't catch up such a big gap.
And then the rest of this is just him bashing me. Nothing of consequence comes out of it. It's just literally, he tends to bash me, and he wants to try to roll to get a throw goblin, throw snotling rather, onto a touchdown. Unfortunately, the ball is just too far from his guy here for it to matter. He gets there, but he can't hand off, which means he has to throw it. But if you throw it, then that uses up your team's one throw, which means the ogre can't throw, so it basically sums to 0. So yeah, as it turns out, that's basically the end of the match. Wait for this to finish its thing. I mean, you can always hit escape and end replay, but
Fall on you. It can really hurt.
thump. I think it does make the pass though. Like, I can't remember, but I think it does. And their stunty guys are not good at throwing. They have to subtract them. So this is going to be like a 4+. Yeah. So I think it's a 4+. Yeah, it is a 4+. But he catches it, and so he gets a SPP, this little small respite, and he does a handoff just for the sake of it.
Has that player had a brain transplant with a demented snotling?
Alright, so yeah, that's the end of the game. We got a lot of SPP out of that. We probably should have had another 3 if we were smart. But hey. Excuse me. In my defense, I was racing to get dinner ready before I wasn't exactly fully engaged, and my opponent was getting up at like 6 a.m. or something, so his brain probably wasn't fully engaged either. But, you know, you can't be upset with this. This is what, 10... 23 SPP. That's a very lovely start. Unfortunately, it actually spread it out over my entire team, and nobody leveled up from this first game. So we were kind of just going to the second game the exact same, except we did roll enough. I think I did a re-roll to get my apothecary. And so yeah, a pretty damn good set of passing and catching. We didn't do too many, but they're all worked out. Wake-ups were above average. Going forwards, these were the ones that failed at the wrong time. The failures happened when we needed them not to work out. Was the first thing I did on a turn, 1 into a 1, and just ended my turn. And the second was when we tried to recover the ball for that 2-turn touchdown at the end of the first half, and we just got up to the Noblar and he just whacked us in the face because we didn't have enough distance. We had good rolls. These pals, a lot of the pals ended up being with other pals, so there's not as much value. But there certainly were doing a lot of 3-dies to give you the best possible chance of the Noblars, because you just have to walk up to a Noblar and hit it, and you get 3-die. So we did, however, get a couple. I think it's 1, 2 out of like 3 1-dies I did in the Ogres were pals, so we definitely got really lucky on those. So it's hard to say, but I think I had more luck than he did. Yeah, I probably said we had more luck than he did, but it's hard to say because Ogres are pretty much the worst team. So it's hard to... Like, yeah, there's a lot of skulls there. Not that skulls matter if it's interspersed like this with something good, but yeah, I'd say he got unlucky. But obviously these things tend to cascade. The more you're in a hard position, the more likely you're going to have a hard time. We did some good running. The leaderboard, this is at the end of the second match. The first one, I was at top of the ladder 1-0 along these two guys as well, I think. And there was, I think Amazons was up there with us. There'll be obviously, you know, a portion. I think there's about 4 of us who had won a game. You know, I think maybe 4 people who lost. And then the rest were draws, I think. Because there's a whole run of draws here you can see. But yeah, so that was the first game, and I'm just going to jump straight into the second one. I'm going to show you. I mean, the team doesn't really change. It's still a standard team going into the second game.
Time for a replay.
And I'll certainly put up the links to the other streams. I mean, there's not much point, I guess. Because I'm kind of watching the full game here. But I'll try and skip through this. I don't want it to be too long. It's kind of more of an analysis thing more than anything. This game was interesting because my thought process going into it was, look at all this. He's trying to figure out the presets. This is a good preset. Or reasonably good. I would probably tweak it a little bit, but it's pretty good. So he's got 4... Well, okay, it's 3. He lost 1, I think, in a game before this. Yeah, he's got 3 wrestle, 4 block. So that's 3 more wrestle than I've got, which means he's got better bash than I do. However, he does have fend on these guys. Sorry, he has armor 7 here, which is worse than my armor in general. So while he's got more bash than me, he's also got a weak spot, which are these linemen. So we definitely want to work down these guys, and that's what we tried to do this game. But otherwise, we don't want to get into a pissing match with the blitzers and the blockers. So yeah, we just start off with some punches. Nothing of consequence really happens here. We do some passing to level up Jean-Claude Van Slammed. We've got the ball. It's not perfectly secure, but it's reasonably secure. If he really wants, he can bash through here and run a blitzer down. He can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he can end up standing next to this guy if he wanted. I think he wisely doesn't overcommit. I do think there's a possibility of doing this, but it would mean an even thinner flank here. If I was him, I might have made this flank a little weaker if I could to make this stronger. Unfortunately, this doesn't work out. This would have been great, knocking him down, and then I could just run through. But as it happens, I'm like, alright, I'm not going to reroll. I've only got 2 rerolls, so everyone is precious at this point. Why not just run the ball back, keep working down these peasants, because these are the guys that I need to kill to get me that player advantage, to make up the fact that he's got better block skills than I do.
Come on, guys. Together.
And I could have, if I wanted, put this guy down here, so that if this guy got pushed like that but not knocked down, I can push him away from my guy if I'm worried about my guy. But I'm not too concerned, because my guy's got armor 8, he's got armor 7. You know, it's risky because offense is better than defense, because there's more knockdown results that are offensive than, you know, backfiring on you, except for that. that's you may not want to push on, but I'm pretty happy for the lineman to be stuck on him.
This player likes to be well
He does do this elf screen in response to me, which, while good, if I was him, I probably would just be pressuring my elves more, because I've got the skills to do it. I'd probably keep a blitzer back here as a safety, but I would probably be pressing rather than screening where possible. The problem is I can redeploy my guys and just hit one area where you've manned up against me. It's easier for me to break through your line, but it's hard to say. Yeah. Ouch. I think that was still a decent play. I'm not sure if I would have done it with the armor 7 piece against the armor 8, but it's better to attack than try and like dodge out with your agility 2. So that's pretty damn good. He gets removed. He removes himself and gives Dolph Laundering a 2 SPP, which I think this guy gets a MVP at the end, which is he levels up because of that. Again, we're doing the same thing as before. Look for the weak spot, punch it. We just need a single set of square line to run our guys through. And after that, we've run our guys through, kind of split his 2 forces in half. So there's group over here, and we've got a guy back here who is deep enough that potentially secure the ball. Now, if I recall, there was a mistake here he made where he mans up those 2. Should stand this guy up. Stands him up, and then... Oh, that's right, because you wanted to push the ball. That's not a mistake then, yeah, that's reasonable. I would have made an argument to put these 2 blockers, one there, run this guy back, run this guy forward, and then stand this guy up and dodge and then stand on this guy. Because that way, this guy is currently free, and so he's clearly the guy that I want to try and get the ball to, if I can. And the very first thing I do, much like last game, I roll a 1 and I'm just sweating bullets like, oh my god, am I just about to roll another double 1 just like last game? On a kind of the very first thing I do. And so now I'm thinking, well, shit, I've done everything I kind of can with a reroll, so everything's risky now. This guy dodges out here because if this guy, when I bring him up, fumbles, I want to have someone nearby. This guy then dodges out to clear this 3 section laneway, so there's no intercept possibility. I then do the dodge to then break this down. And we do have very sunny weather, which means this pass is going to be difficult. So we're doing our best to try and secure it and try and make it sure if the ball fumbles that we've got someone nearby. And then this is very lucky. We rolled a 4 if I recall. Exactly what we needed. And then we go, alright, what can we do? That I should not have done. I should have moved him up here first. That was a mistake. I should have then done that dodge. Because if I dodged there and failed, this guy would have been standing here like an idiot, just waiting to get muscled down by this guy. So he should have moved first. As it happens, he maneuvers his blitzers over here with some GFIs, and then dodges, and then one dies my ball carrier. I get lucky, and the ball bounces onto a blitzer who catches it. And now we're thinking of how we're going to clear this. Alright, we're going to clear it by punching this way, and then we can blitz through here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I think. That's right. I decided against doing that because I wanted to keep his movement reduced. And a little bit worrisome there for a second. When we hit double 1s. But we still have the reroll available to us. This former drug addict guy, I think he gets knocked out like 2 or 3 times this game. And this guy moves up belatedly. He should have moved up before I did that, just in case things went badly. And then we run it in. So a few more mistakes in terms of timing. I should have moved guys earlier, while things were safer, and then done the risky things. Because that's the thing, like I was doing things down here I absolutely had to do that required rolls. And then once I got to a position where the ball had moved up to someone who was free, I should have just moved him up, because he's the next safe thing to do, and then gone back to doing riskier things by doing dodges. Alright, so I unfortunately only get, I think, 1 of my 2 back. How are we looking? Yeah, there's only one there. So we didn't get him back. Ball is reasonable.
That player is about to get punched above and below.
It's perfectly reasonable. I think I'm about to attempt to clear this section here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So I'm classic elf. I'm just pressuring the ball. Unfortunately, if I recall, this is another dub one, and it seems to be the bane of my existence, or at least a single one, because I don't have any rerolls left. And this means that he's able to shift over here quite reasonably. I think my defense on this left-hand side was a little bit too far to the left. I probably should need to bring them one, and bring them across, because that would have intercepted that far better.
And in general, fans are much
So let's have a
more
look back.
dangerous than players.
So I've got to, like, I know all these guys are available free. Bring these guys here. He gets knocked out. Excellent. We did get a bribe from a kickoff just then, I think. And he got fame. Very nice. So yeah, let's pause it here. So what do we have here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We want to do this 2 die and that. So those guys are busy. But if we bring these guys here, bring that guy here. So we got 2, 3, 4. And bring these guys up to here. We block off that path. He has to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it means he can't get as deep. So we could have done that more effectively, I think. And then you just dodge this guy at the end of the turn. As it happens, we want to do this first because it's more important. But alas. So that means he gets the opportunity to come over here when I could have been standing there in the way. And it would have made it hard for him to get there. And also they would have to go probably up and around. And so you wouldn't be able to build a cage out here. You'd have to build up a cage maybe up here or up here. So that was another mistake where just one more, if I thought through a little bit, the fact that, well, even if I'm here, he has to go around like this and get stuck on a hard corner. I should have been up here. And so he gets a decent cage build up, and then he does this blitz move to finish it, if I recall. Yeah. And so my attempt is a punch here to get this lineman out of the way, so then I can run down here, and then I'm able to run down here and get in the way, and then I bash into this cage. Basically, this game was me trying safe things, generally, with a few mistakes here and there, and both the times I've scored against are from, I wouldn't say lucky, but kind of risky one dies like this. Now, this catch handoff is not a big deal, because he's got catch. It's a 3+ to the reroll. It's not great, but it's not terrible. But this is, again, it's one die after one die, and more one dies. So kind of risky. And if he'd gotten the kind of dub one that I'd got when I tried to get on his guy, then that can be really bad for him. But I think, considering the amount of time he had left, and the fact that I'm so quick, and that if he doesn't get rid of it by then, I'm going to swamp him, it was the right call to make. But you know, it's risky, and I would have, if I was him, I would have probably come out here and GFI'd through this way. Because if you GFI here and fall down, then if you GFI there and fall down, the ball's might go out, and then the ball might go somewhere else. But if you go here, they might bounce around here. Well, you just have a chance to maybe pick it up and recover it. Because if the ball bounces out here, there's no way you're getting back to it. All you guys are over here. So now I'm in a position where I've got one turn to bash. And that's about it. And we do some bash. We do a foul here, and that's about it. And he comes back and he does some bash. So. I think we've failed 1, 2.
The attacker has an assist.
I think we failed. We've got 1 out of 2, I think, knockouts back so far. Little bit of defense. I basically move away from his block pieces in the middle so that wrestling doesn't hurt me. So I just stay away from that, and then I just block this off, and then I move my guys up a little bit. Yeah, I just basically move my defense forward and make it safe. Now this is this was a mistake. I think he misread that he had he thought he had a assist here when he didn't, because I shifted this guy over.
The attacker has an assist.
Oof. I think it was a knockout? Yeah. And so we end up, despite having injured 2 of his guys, we tend to get a lot of knockouts against us. No injuries, which is nice, but the knockouts generally don't come back for the rest of this game. They all end up being basically stuck in the knockout box. So at this point, I'm kind of elf screening him, if I recall, because there was no way I could really get around onto him, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, there's no way to really get to him. So we just kind of backed off and waited. Oh yeah, and I think this is the misclick spot. So this is when I put my mouse cursor, and obviously I just was not right on him. And instead of clicking on him, clicking blitz, and then right clicking, I just did the quick right click, and then this happens, which is obnoxious. I walk over there,
That's a dangerous
and nothing happens. So I just immediately back off because I'm like, well, shit, that's annoying. And then I do this really silly, I should not have done it, dodge out and bash. That was purely me being annoyed with myself. And yeah, and it results in an unfortunate situation where this guy gets a free bash. Because if I'd got that POW over here, I could have walked through. Actually, would have been in... Yeah, I would have got a 2 die, so a good chance to get a POW or something. I could have walked through and I could have stood on this ball carrier. And life would have been hard for him. He probably would have had to fall back, and I would have had a chance to steal it. Unfortunately, as it turns out, I didn't. So then presumably I just shift across. Yeah, I just make the best. He's kind of fallen back, so I've just pushed one guy up here to have a chance to get around at him. But otherwise, just keeping my defense here the best I can. Yeah, he just keeps falling back, and so I'm looking for opportunities to try and punch through his lines. Like this. And then run through. And I think I threw this guy in as well. GFI. And I should have moved him up here first, I think. I don't know why I did this 1 by 1, because he's a loner. I wasn't going to use the reroll on him anyway. I should have just committed. This guy just comes out to prevent any crazy dodge attempts. If he tries to punch through these guys, he has to go around. I managed to knock them both down. But again, he's fallen back. And so I'm like, alright, great. Let's just keep moving up. Let's take a shot at this blitzer. Let's see if we can put him on the sidelines. I think this guy's ready to foul at the end. Yeah. So we push him over there. I think we chill. Yeah. I think we might have taken a step back. Yep. This guy steps back and we just dodge free of that. So we've boxed him in pretty nicely here. He's pretty deep in his half still. All of our guys are in his side of the pitch. So, and we get a nice foul here. So while we're knocked out a few, we've managed to take out enough of his guys or gotten himself fouled out that he can't do much. And we kept him pretty deep in his half. So we're just playing safe, playing safe. However, he does some risky GFIs to move the ball up. And while he's doing it, he was trying to figure it out, and I kind of, I don't know how I'm going to say coached him, but I was just like, if you want to do that, this is what you need to do. And does force out a reroll here. Unfortunately, it's not like I had 1 into a 1. He does manage to make his second 2+. And yeah, so he's put himself forward to try and get a chance to score from a fairly deep position. So it's going to take him another probably 2 turns to get there. And we're thinking, all right, we're fairly manned up. What can we do about this? First thing first, we need to get this guy positioned here to get this 2 die. We're going to man up this guy if we can. Man up these guys with these 2. And then we're going to start dodging these guys out and just slamming into this the best we can. So we're doing all the safe things first, and then we do this. The idea is that you just want to jam this up with people it's impossible to get out without doing a whole bunch of dodges. And make it hard for them to get any 2 dies. Make them all, force them to 1 dies, because that's more likely to fail. I think we do a 1 die at the end here to try and remove this guy. Yep. So pretty solid, considering he managed to pull this off with the two pluses and whatnot. We managed to push through here and set up pretty harsh, because this is really risky. One is you're doing a 1 die to kind of break through here. But 2 is if you fail here and just get like a both down or just a push, and you end up next to the sidelines and you get surfed, and all these guys are probably going to get surfed. Like, I'm just going to multi-surf them all into each other until they're all gone, and you're going to lose half your team. So it's really risky, but he does make the best of the opportunity. It's much like the same over in this side here. When I put so much pressure on him, he just had to do 1 dies. We forced him to do 1 dies here. Gets the dodge, and I don't know why he GFI'd here. I think he was doing calculations based on how far these guys could run. He was trying to force out GFIs. That's probably what it was. But I don't know if he's got a reroll. Yeah, GFI is probably fine then. But if you were going to do a GFI, I'd probably do 2 GFIs and make it really hard for me to get to you. So we do the safe things first. We man up these 2 guys, and then we're just like, all right, there's not much else to do here, but then go after ball carrier. We don't do this punch here. That's not important. We might use up one of our rerolls. We go down here and do this. Just unfortunately, we roll a 1. And as you've seen, is kind of a thing with my rerolls, into another 1. So a bit unfortunate, but it was the best play we could make considering situation. And we did try and push him as hard as we can. And this is not too difficult. It's still a 1 die, but it's a 2+. And if it, you just need anything, basically, a 2+. You knock him down or you push him away and then you walk it in. So we did our best to force it to be hard. We played it safe whenever we could. Unfortunately enough, it was not kind enough. But it was well played. This is the problem. We just don't get our knockouts back, because knockouts are luckier than injuries, for sure. So I've injured 3. And I think he's knocked out maybe 5 total, and I've knocked out a couple, but he always gets his knockouts back, and I have trouble getting them back, which means, just like here, I've got limited guys to deal with his. If I had 2 more players, for instance, I probably could have jammed that up with a third, third guy here or something like that, and then it's almost impossible to get out. So if we got a little bit luckier with these knockouts, I think that would have probably made that easier, but at the same time, he got hurt. Although in this case, 2 of these are armor 7, so they're kind of likely to get hurt. But anyway, we'll keep going. So this is the position I've set myself up, trying to figure out how am I going to get this 2-turn touchdown to get the draw, because we have to make up for that score. We set up like this, we get a quick snap, so we maneuver our guys a little bit further forward. And the ball is not great. It's not terrible, it could have been back here or here, but it does require us to do some passing and handoff. I figure out that it's better for this guy to secure it and have this guy pick it up and do the pass than it is to have him run up there and try a longer pass. Again, it's sunny, so these are all 3+, minimum. And we have to use a loner for this, but luckily because it's a handoff, it's not a big deal, because he doesn't have to make any rolls. Then we just run deep. There's not much else we can do but just run deep and try to get in a position to score. We do a bash here, it's not enough. I then take the risk and do the 2 die without the block, because I want to be able to move this faster guy, if I recall. So if I had punched with this guy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, that probably would have been good enough. But I was thinking I wanted to get guys in here, and I thought I needed faster guys for it, so I used him for it so it would have enough speed. But in the end, I don't think I even needed that extra speed. Obviously, having these guys here makes it harder for him to knock me down, but he's got wrestle, so yeah, it's not too difficult. And so yeah, we basically set up a cordon. We cordon all these guys off from my ball carrier, forcing him to bash his way through to go stand next to me. He does, however, wrestle me down, I think. Yeah. Alright, so this is like last turn stuff, so I can't skip forward anymore. But yeah, this is kind of the last play of the game. And it is kind of do or die. Are we gonna get a draw? Are we gonna lose? Obviously, I'm not keen on losing, and we've just made it as hard as possible here. I'm trying to force out as many rolls, but he's doing his going for it. It's fine. Doing his dodges, and he manages to get quite a few going for it to get a nice secure on my guy. The problem is that he's got fend. It's easy for me to bash out this way and then run through if it's just a normal lineman. But it's hard with a fend guy, so you end up standing still in these tackle zones. So I've got two choices. I can bash him, follow up. So we'll find out what we're going to do. We can either bash him, follow up, and then try and run through. And if we knock him down, it's great, but we need a 5 or a 6 to do that. And if we fail, well, what are we going to do? We've still got these tackle zones on us. Well, we can only go 3+, 3+, 2+, or we can go a 4+, 2+. The other option is to punch this guy, accept that we're going to fend him off, but make this dodge easier. Instead of having to go 3+, 3+, 2+, we just go 3+, 2+. And I end up deciding to do the lineman just because I think this is a slightly safer play from the fact that he's easier to knock down, and therefore it's easier to help my further rolls get better. And there we go. So we managed a 2-2.
Will we see another winning touchdown?
And that's basically the end of the game. And we'll see the end results. So again, can we get like a 19 or something in this? Yeah. We get 19. Not as good as our last one, but still pretty good. Good dodges. We got nice dodges on this one. We got good ball handling, really good ball handling. So you can't be too upset with your luck. But unfortunately, the wake-ups were half of what they should have been. We probably should have had 2 more guys. But hey, you know, actually, I don't know why it's... Oh, yeah, because it's 9-3. The total is 12. But yeah, so we just got... Yeah, we should have got 3 more guys back. So we're undermanned, and I think if we had those extra 3 guys, I get a feeling that we probably could have stopped... especially that second one, because we had a lot less guys in that second score he made. But even the first one, and maybe if I had 1 more guy on the field, I could have held off that right-hand push a little easier by having spares to shove in that gap. So the wake-ups kind of made up for this excellent ball handling. Honestly, really good, especially the passes with a minimum 3+ and often 4+. We got some decent block dice. Can't be too upset with them. We got a single dub skulls, but otherwise pretty damn good. And we always try to do 2 dies whenever possible. We got 1 die, 2 1 dies that I did. And most of those probably... well, that one was me being silly. And the second one was just like, oh, I'm just going to hit alignment at the end of the turn. Safe thing to do. The Ammonites, their bribe didn't work. Which is...
Did you know?
Oh, yes, commentator. I turned that off recently, but I turned it back on.
Renault actually hates sport and would rather play with action figures instead. This has nothing to do with him bad-mouthing me in that last issue.
Commentators. He gets some good wake-ups, which is good. It really needs it because he got a lot of injuries from casualties. 2 out of 3 were the AV7 guys. It's kind of expected, but still. Good, but he didn't do too much ball handling, which is exactly what he wants to do. He wants to do minimum ball handling because he's a human, not an elf. Good dodges. Most of those are the kind of things like when he dodged both times to get free... well, the second time I think he dodged. The first time he didn't. There's 1 dies and stuff. It was just when he needed it to work, it worked. Blocks again, much like me, he had quite a few pals in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He did 9 1 dies. I only did 1 or 2. So presumably most of those Grail Knight. One is an ex-convict. Yeah, most of these were done by guys who have wrestled, so it's not a really big deal. But one of them was done by the that lineman, which I don't know if it's a smart idea, but you know, pretty good. Unfortunately, we just didn't eke out the win. I think if we played a little smarter, we probably could have prevented one of those scores and got the 2-1. And yeah, we'll keep playing though. This is how the leaderboard ended up at the end of
Have you
that
looked
second
at
session.
Facetome recently, Bob?
We've got
Did you know you have
Midgard
a
and Stracklin.
Have you looked at it, Jim? There's a petition to remove
So-
you from the air.
Yeah. Neither of them are going to get on top of me in the ladder. They're going. If someone wins, it might end up being a draw. If someone wins, they'll just move up to here. So this is basically what the top 5 is going to look like. It's probably going to be these 4 plus maybe one of these 2. And then we're going to be facing Cheerful Chastiers. We'll have a look at them. That's because of pre-game analysis. They have one guy out, so they're going to have a loner. But I think even with that, he's going to have at least enough for a free reroll, or whatever he wants to get, maybe an apothecary or something. And he gets tentacles. And so when I saw that, I was a little bit surprised initially, because block is generally better for Chaos Warriors because it lets you get more blocks more successfully to get more SPP to then kind of build your Chaos Murder team. But I had a look at his schedule and I kind of agree with him. He's facing me, an elf team, then I think might be Amazons and then Wood Elves or something like that. Ooh, that's weird. That's weird. What's his next one? Next one's me, and then he's going against the Amazons, and then against what was it? Stream Team, which is the Wood Elves. So you got 3 very dodgy teams. It kind of makes sense to take some tentacles and prevent them from even being able to attempt to dodge if they fail their strength check. Because it's not like Prehensile Tail, which just gets you a -1. Oh, it's starting to annoy me. I'll go have to
Works
tell these
all
guys to
my
shut up.
life, Jim. I don't see why I gotta take notice of them now.
Alright, we're going to go to these settings. I'm going to turn these guys off. I think they're very funny to listen to when I'm playing by myself, but not when I'm trying to speak. If I'm trying to speak, I would like to be clearly heard. So that was his team. My team, however, got a whole bunch of level ups after that second match. So because we had spread out the SPP and didn't get any level ups on the first match, almost all these guys who had some kind of SPP kind of clicked over in the second match. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys level up. The linemen were just standard rolls. We just gave them block. We got standard here. We just gave them dodge for the classic blodge. We got a doubles here. So we gave them Mighty Blow. This will be our kill piece. And very useful against the... what's the name? Chaos team playing next. And also we get an agility upgrade. Agility 5 is useful because it means I can do some things that otherwise would be off the table. I can dodge into cages and attack the ball carrier on 4+, and if I can get leap, then I can do a 2+ leap instead of a 3+ leap and be like a better version of a War Dancer, and just leap into a cage and start slamming people. So if I get this guy kind of dodge, leap, strip ball or something like that, or tackle, this guy probably a tackle. I'll probably just get strip ball on this guy. Then I can just punch the guy. Even if I just get a 1-die push, then defender stumbles, whatever it is, then I can just push them, get the ball free, and then might bounce out and I can just scoop it up and run off with it. I can also, with this guy, if the ball is in 1 or 2 tackle zones, just walk in there and 3+ pick it up and then dodge the hell out and keep running. Reasonably reliably. I can also dodge through multiple tackle zones like I'm a goblin or whatever. As long as it's only a -1, then I can dodge through with 2+. So this guy gives me a whole lot of flexibility to punch through lines and go secure balls that would otherwise be hard to secure. And also he gives me the opportunity to do great passes, long passes. Like, he's now better than this guy at passing. He can do quick passes at 2+, short passes at 2+, and the long passes at 3+. So he can really move that ball, do the long bombs, and be basically act as almost like a high elf or elf union type of thrower. Now we're not developing into a thrower. He's going to be a hunting piece for balls. It's going to be the bullhawk, but it's really nice to have that as an option. This guy, we're still going to get Nerves of Steel after this next match, assuming we get a level up. But yeah, it's going to be interesting because this guy, I really want to level him up soon to get him dodge, to keep him alive, because it's so valuable. It's worth investing another 20k in him to get him safe with blodge. But it doesn't mean we have to get him 10 SPP, and I don't think we're going to get that in a single match. I think I'm going to maybe get 3, 4, get a touchdown, maybe a pass or 2, maybe a knockout on someone. But I don't think I'm going to get 10. Short of me getting an MVP on him, I don't think it's going to happen. But this is more doable. We can probably get this guy 5 SPP, get a score, get a punch down or maybe a couple throws with him, and we can definitely level this guy up with a couple throws. So we'll be looking to do that, but not at the expense of winning the game. If it's safer to just score or run a lineman in with the ball, that's totally fine. We'll do that because the linemen are still really good in my team. As you can already see, these guys are basically mini blitzers. They have 1 less movement and they cost 10k less than a blitzer. But yeah, they're real good. We're still going to have a loner, and we're not going to replace him until we get our 110k. So we're hoping for 50 this next match. If we get a win, we get plus 10, and also gives us a reroll, so we're more likely to be able to reroll into like a 4 or above, which the 4 plus 1 makes it 5 for 50k, which will get us the Wood Elf, not the Wood Elf, the Witch Elf. So that's pretty much what we're looking at for the analysis of the next game. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, if we get unlucky with armor rolls, the Chaos guy will just destroy us. But I'm hoping that with enough block on my team, I think I've got 6 blockers now, and one of them is a blodger. Pretty decent in the blocking department to help make up for the fact that he's going to have greater strength. After that, I'm playing against, I think it's Romkuns or Kuns? Romkuns? It's Romkeys from what I read about it. I think it's Romkuns or something like that. Humans, that'll be interesting because he's going to have more speed than I have with his catches. We'll see if he is developed enough to have the same amount of block as I have, but hopefully if I've got more block than him, then maybe I can win some bash, just don't let the Ogre do too much damage. And then after that, we're going up against the Lizardmen. It's too hard to tell what this is going to turn into. The Lizardmen have obviously a lot of strength, but they need to level up. They've only got 1 level up, and I'm not sure about the tackle here. I have to see who he's playing against next. I would have gone with block, probably. But tackle's fine. It's not the end of the world. It just doesn't have as much value against a team that it doesn't have dodge. So maybe he's up against like Wood Elves or something next. But yeah, if these guys end up with block on everyone by the time I face him, we're probably going to have a bit of a bad time. If he's only got 1 or 2 of them with block, we can probably squeak through and have a chance. I wonder who he's facing next, is my question. He is facing the Wood Elves. That makes sense. And then he's facing... what is it? Painful Suffering. Oh, that's the... okay, yeah. I'm not sure if I would be using... I guess that can be the blitzing Lizardman that you blitz the Snotlings on the Ogre team with. So yeah, I guess tackle's not bad for the next couple of games. What's that? What's he on after that? And then then it's me. So then that will probably be useful because I'll probably still have some dodge on me. Maybe even have some more by that point. So that'll be interesting. Next couple games, the Chaos, then the Humans, then Lizardmen. After that, we're getting, I think, Undead. High Elves, it depends how the teams have developed by that point, because we're both Elves. The Undead will be interesting. Warhammer Locust I should probably be able to handle, because they're obviously a stunty team, or like a half stunty team, but depends what mutations I've got. If they've got some crazy mutations, life could be interesting. Sterling Stitches, more Undead. I think those are going to be some of the harder matches, potentially. Just because Undead teams can be quite powerful, and they've got Mighty Blow. Goddamn Rats, I could probably take by this point, because I have enough block and maybe some tackle that I can hunt down the Gutter Runners. This will be harsh. Fighting Orcs, I always find to be troublesome. I think this will be one of the hardest matches I have, just because it's going to be hard to get any kind of damage on him. All I can really hope for is that my speed and my dodginess is going to save me, but he's going to be at the point where he's probably fairly well developed, so just manning him up is probably just going to get me wrecked. So I'm probably just going to do Elf Screen on him, but who knows. String Team, Wood Elves, who knows what this Elf bullshit is going to turn into. We're just going to be stealing the ball off each other repeatedly. This is, by day 13, I'm probably developed enough to take on the Amazons and have a decent chance. they're really good early game, but once I start to develop, they will start falling behind because their innate stats are lower than mine. Again, same with Midgard Raiders. I'll probably be able to have a decent chance against them. I think at the very least we'll be on par with each other. And if I've developed myself enough, then I should have the advantage. Serial Killers Not United. I think that's more undead. What's the Sterling Stitches? Do we have 3 undead teams? Strachan family. That's the Chaos Dwarfs. I've misread Strachan. Ooh, day 7 might be a bit painful as well because that's Chaos Dwarfs. So we'll have to see how that goes. That might be a bit painful. That might be one of the harder ones as well. But yes, then again, undead. They could be painful, but we'll see. If hopefully we're developed enough that we can run past, but we'll see. But yeah, so we got a pretty good schedule. That's the analysis so far of the 2 games I've had, plus the future. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward. The next match is probably going to be this weekend, I think, because I think people are scheduled to play Thursday or Friday. So as soon as that finishes, then I'll go talk to, I think it's Pig Dog, and we'll see if we can get our game in, because he's going to have 1090 and I'm going to have 1200 because I get a plus 70 from having a lone alignment. So he's going to have enough for some kind of outlay. But yeah, we'll see you there. Fingers crossed we win. Fingers crossed we get a witch off. And catch you next time.